So what I was gonna say now is we want to talk about what did you call it? Murder music.
Content over everything.
Murder music being a phrase to describe the kind of music that promotes, killing. It's simple, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And whether the music that talks about the killing, whether this is actually the seed of the problem, or whether it's life that's imitating art or art imitating life. You feel what I'm trying to say? So I need to understand what you lot's perspective is on it. I've got my own ideas. I hope I've done it justice introducing. If I'm not, back me up, please, respect car. Me I waffle right now, Can't lie. Mouth dry and everything. Go on.
Yeah, it's just basically, it's like what Jedi said, is whether we believe the music is the root to the problem or just a fruit of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do you understand? Because sometimes sometimes you got one side of people who say it's the root and they point at the man they're making the rap music like, you lot need to stop making that music and everything's going to change in the community. You understand? Like man ain't just going to listen to the man them in America or something. Do you get it? Like if G.A.N.G and all them man stop making music now, and because think about it, like for music to be in your playlist, you have to want to listen to that music. You pick. If you want to listen to Nas, you're going to pick Nas. If you want Fiddy, you are going to get Fiddy. If you want Stanner man like me, you're going to listen to Stanner. You understand? You're going to choose who you listen to. You understand? So my thing is just telling a man them to stop making music ain't going to solve the problem. Another thing that I always say is David Banner, yeah? David Banner's a good example. He was a gangster rapper, yeah? And now a lot of his raps are more conscious. But he didn't just start rapping conscious. David Banner went through a transition within inside himself. He became conscious. You understand? Yeah. David Banner went through a real transformation, and that transformation that happened in real life then came out in his lyrics. So when people point at the youths them, I'm like, but what are you doing to try and change the actual situation that the youths are in? Have you ever been there and spoke to them? Have you gone? Has anyone gone to C67 or have we just talked about them?
Yeah, boy. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, fam? So that's that. So basically, there's one set of people that would say, oh, the music is no problem. You understand? I wouldn't say that. I would say that man have to be more real and more balanced. And I'd say that when man are making a certain sort of music and it's helping to the ideology to destroy your culture, and all of these people are supporting it, you got to question them. You understand? You got to question the DJs who seem to only want to play you when you're saying certain things. But if you start saying something else like what Nine said in his thing, will the fans still love you? You got to question your fans now. You understand? You got to question. Rasta not eat pig, you know. Good thanks for the eye time. Yeah, but so yeah.
We say Raven cops are the ops.
So yeah. Cops are the ops, are you mad? But so yeah. So I feel like so we got two extremes. We got some people saying it's the main problem. We got some people saying it's not a problem, and I feel like it will be good to get everyone who feels something about it. There's our different opinions on how it affects. You understand? And maybe some advice for the artist them, or you know what I'm saying, just a real one. Because sometimes we don't do that. We do the point a finger thing like these. But sometimes I feel like we should really just, you know what I'm saying, balance out. Because I got certain brethren. The reason why I got certain brethren, and they're in the dunya. When they come studio with me, I don't expect them to start rapping about Black and the Berry. I don't expect it from man. Because all man's doing is in the band. I've got to see my brother make a change. I've got certain brothers, they made a change and then it came in their lyrics. You understand? So I don't think it's as simple as just telling a man, yeah, Gigs, can you do a tune like a Carla tomorrow? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't sound, but anyway, yeah, let's hear the people's opinion anyway.
Yeah. Some people have some opinion.
Take the middle, come in the middle. Anyone who wants to speak, man?
Anyone? I'll jump in. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Oops.
There you go. Go up.
So,
yeah. murder music, yeah. Topic murder music, right? All right. Here's my thing on murder music, right? You're right, innit? If you change the reality of the rappers, you're gonna change the content. But more importantly, if you are living the murder music life, where I'm gonna approach it from is your art, innit? So you can talk about killing people, but why don't you make a couple songs about how you felt after you did that? Or, you know what I mean? Or say, you know, respect after the actual event, how do you feel? If you want to go really artistic, you could pretend you're the floor and rap about being the floor as the blood hits the floor. So I'm saying, up your art, innit? Be artistic. You know what I mean? Yeah, a Nas to be the bullet or whatever, right? Be artistic with your art, innit? So saying that, here's what I did, here's how I felt about it, and you know, also talk about how you can improve your situation, innit? So I'm saying, up your art. So the first solution is change the situation people are living in, and that will change the content. And then, if you are still in that situation, how can you cut different ways, or whatever the saying is, right? Yeah. So not just I'm shooting man. How about, you know, I'm the floor. Here's how I feel when the blood hits me. You know what I mean? This guy. Yeah. That's my thing on it. Anyone want to jump in on that? About murder music? Yeah? There we go.
I'd just like to say, murder music is it's a reflection.
You're not allowed to come in and not sing, get you?
No, I'm not saying. It's a reflection on other people's liberty, and it's the circumstances caused by the dirty shitstem, innit? So you can't judge them. It's just a lot of man them are feeding their youths, innit? So we need to build up something that we can get them out of this, because it's by choice. No one wants. I used to do it back in the day, and then my karma was my auntie died, rest in love, of heroin, and my uncle was on coke. You know what I mean? So. There's a balance of karma, but at the end of the day, it's circumstance, isn't it? So what we need to do, not just the music, we need to change up things like what's on YouTube, create a web series, have a better radio stations that play a bit more uplifting music, and you can have a balance. Because you can't just shut the people who listen to drill music out, because it's a reflection of life, isn't it? So it's subjective to who wants to choose to it. Your reality is going to be shaped with what you put around you, innit? So it's up to the individual. Guiding a new generation.
Who's up next? Books, go on.
Yeah, man, one. For me, yeah, you're saying gang. G.A.N.G. Right, for me, I'm looking at another angle.
You
Yeah?
got something on your hat, bro.
Shut up, man. you want this, innit? You ain't having it. So, for me, I'm looking at it from another angle, like where I don't really fully blame the rappers doing what they're doing, simply because they're living that lifestyle. They've been living underneath the breadline for a very long time, and all of a sudden they've got something that's giving them change. Now, when they go to them record companies, they could be chatting something good, and they could be chatting something bad. But the only tunes that we hear are the ones where they're chatting something bad, innit? So they're the ones pushing it out. So it's difficult where they're looking to get money. We can't blame them for trying to make a change. So they're trying to get a little change. You get me? They don't want to hear that. So it's difficult. So what I'm saying is they should try and maybe sneak put it in. I remember in the 90s when I was raving, that's what they used to do with the lyrics, innit? They used to put it underneath until they started noticing, then it got taken out. You get me? They'll say, I think a couple of artists, I think it was T.I., I see an interview on YouTube or something, where they said, no, you can't put that on there. You want this one. So they're here to take out the word cracker out of the tunes, but it's fine to say nigger. So at the same time, I'm not saying push the blame all onto them, but they are partly to blame. So therefore, we have to start trying to create our own networks, have our own record labels, start doing things for ourselves and pumping it out there. We've got social media now where we can advertise. So therefore, we start pumping out things together and work together, you get me? Just link up, post other people's thing and get it out there, and we never know what could happen. So, yeah, G.A.N.G. Yeah. Gang.
Hey.
Jesus. Boy, you know, I feel like Raspberry, they pull me in with these
You know?
No, do you know what, yeah? Hey, gang. Hey, touching on what Raven said about the effects of living, I think it's mad important. And the motherfuckers that run like the council places and all these underprivileged places out there, you need to really take note. Don't just send around a surveyor with a clipboard and red tape and 6 months later ain't nothing done. Change the living standards, the mindset of living changes. Change the way the block looks. Stop building all these inverted blocks, so when you look out on a block, you see a block.
Another block.
Yeah, you can't see a tree. And you can't, do you know what I mean? Like, stop doing that, innit? So you want us to stop riding out on you lot with the little rollies and whatever, because we want a little change and whatever. Come to our clock where we live, change that motherfucker. And then, do you know what? Mindsets might change. Gang.
Gang.
Real shit. I was gonna step forward because I spoke about this a few weeks ago. But like my personal opinion, I don't blame anyone who's in the dunya or on the road for rapping about their lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, if you look at the 90s, if you look at all the record labels, they were all bought out by people that weren't part of the culture. So they basically perverted the music deliberately. And you know what I call it? I call it social engineering. Because the music that is being distributed is being given a false narrative to our original purpose. So once we're mindful of this, we can't blame the youth because they're in the environment, but like every other brother says, we have to define ourselves. We ain't niggers, we ain't bums, we ain't even thugs. We're kings, we're lords, we're leaders, we're queens. And once we embody this in our music, then we're guiding a new generation, and the youths that listen to this will know themselves. So gang!
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Hey, Moss, come in there, fam, like you don't make music, man.
Go on, mate. Go on, mate.
Mossy, you're one of the gangster rappers. You're killing people. Your bars.
Yeah,
Someone listen to your tune.
You know Nigerian rap that Nigeria, get him.
I think what you have to understand is
I kill bear man. You know, listen to Mossy. I kill bear man.
I think fix up, man. Some people first G circle, they think you like just about jokes and that. Come, man, get serious.
I think you know how many people I kill listening to Maku's music, fam.
Yeah, that northwest. That northwest.
Bro, I swear that I was looking at Mike's
Oh
tune
no,
one
he's
time.
freestyle.
I was looking at
He's freestyle. He's got
shoot white.
He's got freestyle in the cipher.
I was listening to Mike's tune one time, yeah, and blood, I swear down, it just made me headbutt my fed like a woodpecker. I swear that. I was just boom.
Yeah, no for sale.
Boom.
These that don't get the joke.
Go
It's a
get the
personal
next
in-house
joke.
joke.
We'll get that shit on.
Let's put in a woodpecker there. In-house joke. In-house joke. You don't get serious now.
The thing with the music, I think personally, it's been hijacked. Every type of music has been hijacked, and now it's popular music. You get what I'm saying? So it's what's popular.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, it started in the studio by changing the frequency of the music.
Boom.
Now,
Science. Science. Some science on there. Time.
so from the original C note, you get what I'm saying, which is a quite balanced frequency, they started to raise it. The music became faster and more thing. And what that does is burn your brain cells, basically, when you're listening to that type of thing, and make you more docile. Now the music has become more docile. Repetitive. Yeah, I still get it.
Look at them dancing and laughing.
But yeah, it is, as Uhuru said, it's a form of social conditioning. All of it is a program. So the program for music, as you can see where we're going, man are wearing wedding dresses out here.
Hey. Yeah.
Come on, we're not endorsing that. None of that. We're not endorsing none of that. Now, as we know, conscious music, it's like people are not feeling it, you know? This is why all this trap music and all this other music is more attractive, and they sell products. They sell cars, they sell chains, they sell dreams. You get what I'm saying? Unattainable dreams. You get what I'm saying? Which will have a young man go out, carry his knife, and think he can make a quick money. Do you get what I'm saying? Which also pays the policeman, which also pays the CPS, which also pays the judges, which also pays the prison, which also, you understand? It's a vicious cycle, and all is part of the system. So that's all I got to say. Gang.
Gang.
Talk about your lyrics as well, fam.
Say that again.
I wanted to talk about his lyrics as well.
His lyrics, he's been on a G cypher, and he said in the G cypher, what did he say he was gonna do? I can't remember.
Bare violence.
Nah, let's not say. But with bare violence. But explain that though. Explain that.
Bare violence.
Because you did do a freestyle and it was quite
You're
violent.
meant to be conscious.
So can you be conscious and one for that, man? Get me?
Well, let me explain. Let me explain. Right. One, when you're freestyling, whatever you want to say, you can say. You get what I'm saying? One, that's one. Two, you get what I'm saying? We don't say any falsities. That's true. This is real rap. This is real rap. I'm telling you the truth. You get what I'm saying? We don't say any falsities. Anything of that is universal. So not only just whitey, blackie can get it, Chinese can get it. You get what I'm saying? Anyone can get it. If you're not doing the right thing, well, boy, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Spiritual fire licking down.
Anyway, but also, yeah, I feel like with the balance of that, yeah, honestly, I think this is another reason why the so-called conscious music, if you want to call it that, I don't like the label, but I think we all know what I'm talking about when I say it. That's why it's not as popping as well, because they don't tap into them. Because remember, you got to tap into emotions, innit? Certain man do, innit? But there's a realness that you know when you hear a tune and it makes you push up your face. Even a pastor, even a mom will hear that and be like, mucky. Like, you got, you know what I mean, innit? You know that face, innit? That's the crud lip. Like, you're like, yeah, that's crud. Like, a bass, it used to be like a bass line to make you do that. And now they kind of depend on like some low IQ words. Do you know what I mean? So, for instance, right now, it's words like trap and shot and and it's repetitive over and over and over again. And it's just to keep you into that. Remember, we're glorifying a trap. Yeah?
Trap.
Before it was called a trap, cool. But before that, we was glorifying jails and cells and the streets, the block, the hood, the projects, estate. We're glorifying the lowest thing because that's all man's really got, innit? You get me, yeah? That's all man's really got. And when you're in there and you're immersed in it, you're like, right, this is my lot, so I might as well make the best out of it, yeah? Do you know what I'm trying to say, yeah?
So what I always show people is, yeah, when you see man like overly flossing or something, like, man have to understand it's a coping mechanism, you know? Even when man's glamorizing man's life. Remember, life is shit a lot of the time, fam. Man's brethren just died, fam. The next brethren died. Man can't roll certain places with man's youths and baby mum. Like, it's not the nicest, it's not the... So, in order to deal with that, it's like man just glamorize it and fucking talk about all the good parts. You get me? Yeah, man's got some ice and...
And another part of it is like, you know, like man like an action movie. Yeah. So in the action movie, you don't just want it to just you don't want the hero to just be like, oh, straight laced and rare. You want to see him wig man, lick man down, but it still has to be that premise of he's riding out justly, innit? Yeah. So more time like in lyrics, man put that violence in there because you need that action in the tune, innit, yeah? And I don't mind that, yeah? You could talk about shooting, man, and rare, as long as you try to balance it. Now, it's when there's no balance to it, I think that's when it becomes really, really distorted. This is why certain man like Tupac and certain kind of people, they give you like, it might sound contradictory, but to our minds, we understand it. Balance, we understand the balance, innit, yeah? So, more message to any artists or people that I want to judge, man, yeah? If a man spits some greasiness, cool, but how much knowledge has Maku given us? Do you know what I'm trying to say? How much positivity? He's not down there talking about shank man up and rare. Through his actions and that, he's showing a balance, a reality in life. Because man ain't no pussies. And this is the warrior class we're always trying to reach out to, yeah? So I don't want man to feel like, I listen to bare fuckeries. The music, my playlist is bare fuckeries. and then conscious shit. And I put my shit on shuffle. And when I'm in the gym, I don't want to hear man. No. When I'm in the gym, I need Styles P, yeah, I need Ransom, I need some crud, Mozzie, I need some crud where man's to tap into that energy. But we need to teach the youths how to channel it and have the balance because the youths ain't got the balance.
This is what
That's
it's like,
the main
yeah?
thing.
This is what I always say, yeah? I never say that, me, one thing I know, yeah, is I know certain man, yeah, are getting out the hood and they're eating and they're able to do more for their families than they might have been able to do. You understand, fam? So I respect that element. So I never try and knock someone's hustle. What I talk about it like a plate, yeah? Woo. And it's like,
say it, don't spray,
yeah,
man.
like a plate, you get me? Like, and all right, 1-0. Yeah? Alright, I look at it like a plate, yeah? And like, it's like they just want to give man bare meat. You get me? Like, these dickheads. They want to give man bare beef. Anyone who took that NX way, that's your own brain. You get me? On a bad mind, on a bad mind, youths, on a bad mind, on a nastiness, on a done your nastiness, you know, you're carnal man, I forget left behind. But you're listening. So basically, they just want to give man an unbalanced diet. So my thing is, yeah, like I don't think that anything should stop getting played because I feel like if people are making music and people want to hear it, you understand. What I feel like with the industry is they just want to give man that.
Yeah, just
they don't want us to have a balanced diet. Like back in the day, the people came up with a balanced diet because you add Lauryn Hill. You understand? Tupac had certain tunes. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's mad, you know, fam. That even then, I remember like certain men weren't listening to Lauryn Hill. They were still just trapped in, you know, like the 41st side, the Mobb Deeps and the Rare, who did drop a couple gems now, but mainly it was just a more acceptable level of the same frequency. Because our elders were telling us that all these men are devil worshippers and they're all pushing fuckeries. You understand? And then even before that, what did we have before that? It was like Public Enemy. If you go back even more, you start getting to the rhythm and blues and all these kind of things, which all these musics are demonized. When I was in the blues clubs and that, people were doing heroin and opium and all kinds of things and loose women moving like that. You get me? And they say, "Raw, the way she's slags." The older generation would say, "Raw, the way that a woman shouldn't be out there doing the provocative moves and blah, blah." So like, we got to remember there's some of that element of it as well, where the older generation.
Are you saying the frequency was the same then as it is now?
Well, do you know what? To be honest, if you check it out and listen to the lyrics and stuff like that, it actually was. Most of it popularized contributes to immorality, if there's such a thing, because it's subjective. But it is an attack on family structures and that, because it's not necessarily the proper love songs that are going. Like even when a man's singing a love song, he's winding up his waist, innit? So someone's parents are saying, "Rah, that's like raunchy, like we don't do, why are you moving like that in public?" kind of thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say, yeah? So we might have seen it as, that's boring, a love song. But in them times, that's cutting edge. So what we realise is they keep pushing it, till we do have a man in a wedding dress with a gun in his mouth. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, so what do you think is going to be the next norm if we don't control our narratives? Because we know all of these industries, we didn't control them. All their music genres and rare. From they turned it from black music to urban, there was a last piece of control. So you've got the music of black origin, and that's just a laughing stock.
Yeah, they've taken it fist to fist.
But yeah.
Fist to fist.
It's real talk, man.
Look who they're glorifying.
G.A.N.G. Gang unite!
Gang unite!
Gang unite!
Gang unite!
Gang unite!
Gang unite!
Solution time.
Boom.
And we're gonna round up. So my main thing is to tell someone else what to do, that's not the way. You get me? So my main thing was to actually rap about what I want to rap about. So man spit on the same beats, and obviously even his perspective, because when I listen to drill and that, when I listen to these man's tunes, I just put it in the perspective of the system. You get me? Like it's like a spiritual war. And when you put it in that perspective, man can see it from a whole new angle. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing I do when I actually write the lyrics now. You understand? So I got drill bars, but man's drilling on the system though. You understand? And sending spiritual bullets after wickedness. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, a lot of my brothers who make some of the biggest and best and my favourite gangster rappers in the UK, they rate that thing. It's not like it's a thing where it's like the conscious thing and man are putting it in it. Nah, man are feeling it. Everyone's feeling it. So that's what we can do in it. We can jump on the same frequencies and be real and speak our truth. You get me? And I feel like we're starved from that truth. Everyone kind of wants to hear that realness. That's what everyone's waiting for. Cause we done the flossing thing, we done the murder thing, we killed 100 man in one tune. We done that a million times now. You get me? We've said the same thing in a million different ways now. So it's like everyone wants to hear something fresh. So the main thing we can do, solution time, is one, we can build our own platform, you get me, and support our own platforms to the point when our youths can come up and say, you know what, I want to rap about some realness. Let me holler the G.A.N.G them and jump on their platform, because you know what, man's going to get the same numbers on that platform that man get over there. You understand? Yeah, man can, oh yeah, what, boom. We can sell you. Well, we got to be putting in the foundation.
See, link up and GRM are charging 500 a video.
Yeah.
We can counteract that, bro. It's not about the money, but it's still a business.
Yeah, come
So,
on,
you
cuz.
know?
Come on, cuz. You get me, fam. So oneness. So that's the power. The powers is us supporting, and even them lot, even GRM and link up. You get me? Obviously, I'm not saying they're not doing it. You get me? Car man ain't sat down and reasoned with them. But I feel like all of the platforms, especially the ones that are putting out a lot of the mad thing, they should have a section of them that scout, that listen, that scouts for balanced music that they like. You understand? They should have a section that's kind of scouting for that thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the, cause me, fam, I'm not about trying to tear them down. What man wanna do is say to the rappers, look, like, you've got power. See the power you've got, you speak to the people, fam. You understand? The people bop their head to, so just know your power and know your influence and know that 500 years after you go, whatever you said on that tune, someone's gonna be bopping to. You understand? So understand the longevity of your power. To the Link Up TVs and the Grime Dailies and all the platforms, I'm saying know your power. Okay, boom, the Bow Newses and all of them, man, there. Because they like my posts and that, you get me? But man, say to all of them, know your power, you get me? And don't just put out the mad thing and the bad thing. Put out something else as well that's going to uplift the people and make the people feel good, man. Make the people feel good about who they are and where they're from and aware them. So that's one thing that we can do. But I feel like maybe there's a link that we can make, because sometimes we talk, but sometimes we got to be that change. A lot of the time, the problem that we see in the world, fam, is us that's got to change it. If we're that passionate about it, you understand? That's why man don't really, this gang thing on the roads, man won't talk about it unless I'm looking to go somewhere and do something. Till I'm looking to buck south and say, yeah, we're coming down. Till the gang man them roll out. You get me? Some juices and man them just link up and reason. If it ain't about that, then talking about it's relevant. You get me? But has anyone got anything that they want to say in the finishing?
I got to do something.
Yeah.
Like, when I was hearing a lot of you guys talking about the music today, as a 14-year-old, I listened. Yeah, I'm 14.
Young guy.
Yeah.
Guiding a new generation.
So I listen to a lot of music. Like, obviously, I listen to, as Jedi said, he doesn't like to call it that, but I listen to a lot of conscious music. And I listen to a lot of drill. I listen to a lot of, I'm branched out, basically. Yeah, that's it, yeah. And there are rappers out here that are actually starting to rap about good things, you understand? Like I don't know if you heard about this rapper called Dave. He's rapping about some real stuff out here. Like, obviously, there's some hit songs out there that are not about anything to do with anything. But if you hear some of his stuff that people are actually listening to, it's got some real gems in there. Like, and it's not that it's not out there. It's out there. Do you know what I'm saying?
What's that song that he's got out at the moment? So you're saying he's got other tunes with different content to that song?
Basically, because as you were saying, as you
getting onto it, basically.
Wait, I can handle it. As you were saying, now as you lot were saying, I'm just like you lot were saying that you wanted music with balance in it. Do you understand? And as you were saying, with the balance comes the contradiction, like Tupac. Yeah, not all of his music was conscious. Yeah, some of his music had, I'm gonna shoot this nigga down, Obviously, not all of his music was like changes and all that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's the same with Dave. Do you understand? Some of his music is about partying. Personally, I've never heard one of his songs where he says he's gonna shoot down a guy, but I've heard most of his songs that are actually popping and people are actually listening to, are conscious. Like, I can give you one called Picture Me. It's about inspiring young kids about following their expression.
So what we're saying is, no, I don't know them tunes, but I know that other one that was in the charts about Not Dead in No Beef.
I don't want to dead no
That's the one.
So they're controlling the narrative.
See the problem with Dave, yeah? No, it's not even a problem, because that's our brother. You get me? It's not even a problem.
Yeah.
But what happened is, yeah, the last hit he made, that's what I was going to say, see? The last hit he made was, I don't want to squash no beef.
Okay.
And then after that, he went and made a tweet saying that we need more stop and searches.
So
So
it's
off,
like
off of the
it's a mad thing,
surface,
yeah, it's confusing.
you get me? Yeah, it's a. So basically, if you didn't make the tune, I don't want to squash no beef, it wouldn't have been as bad. Or if you make that tune as I don't want to squash no beef, even if it's just a label tune and the label said this is the hot one, it's the feature with Mo Stack that needs to go out right now, because that's what could have happened. You get me? Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? From me, that tune's out there, like. Yeah, the stop and search, you can't send feds after the random. Because the thing is, because in your tunes as well, you talk about sometimes rolling with the whack back in the day. I don't know. But see, if you was rolling with the whack and you got that stop and search and you didn't get the chance to actually wake up and become Dave, you would have been the hardest on the wing. You know what I'm saying? You would have just, been the hardest on the wing.
They stopped the search. They stopped the search.
There we go.
And that one burns me, that tune, I love Dave. I love Dave. Out of all the tunes, out of all of his tunes, I can't lie, that was the I love Dave. Don't get it twisted. Every tune, bro. He's the best, and you out there. Don't get it twisted, hands down. You understand? For me, for the youth them to actually see a balance. But the problem, when that tune burnt me. But I let it go, because I understand, you know, when I was young, I would have made that tune.
Yeah, but if you deep it, when you lot are talking about like all the people who's talking about that are proper real rappers out here, like Tupac, you want to be talking about how he was bare conscious, making some nice music, but then he's making music like this and Biggie. Like he was making bare like if you listen to bare of his albums, if you listen to the last album Machiavelli, bare of his songs are saying that he's gonna kill niggas, which exactly. And you say
you're missing the main point. The main point is anyone, whether it's Tupac, and he's a king to a lot of people. You get me? When it comes to this rap thing, could I be Bob Marley? Could it be Gandhi, Buddha? The minute man start, even any affiliation with saying man sending police, that's where the problem is.
So
the only
you could have had your lyric, but then you want to talk about stop and search. I don't want it to dead beef.
Cause when I go tell the youths them put the knife down, they're gonna tell me they want us dead no beef. They're gonna play the tune. So that's what I'm saying. But the main thing is to tell him his power. It's not to fight him down. Cause I don't see any benefit with me fighting him down, because that's what the system wants us to do. Cause they hate him. They hate him just like they hate me. You understand? And because they just hate us for being successful.
They stopped and searched him after that.
But that was the most high. That must have been the most high.
But my question is, then what do you mean by balance?
No. What do you, the balance is, man, don't side with police.
There's no balance in
There's
that.
no balance.
In terms of the music.
So in the music, like for instance, if you don't want a dead beef, because he might be talking about someone specific, next week he can do a tune about how he used to be on a thing where he didn't want a dead beef, but now he understands forgiveness. That's the nature of rap. Don't hold man completely accountable for one bar. But separately to that, you went online and said, we need to basically give the police more powers to harass our children. So that was
that's the only thing, brother.
The balance is in this music. You do what you do. We know that Dave ain't a crud artist, so we can't go on like from that one bar, whatever.
You see the dead no beef thing, that was to do with his big brother who got killed. I think that was
you have to know what's behind
that's what I mean.
But it's, what we're saying, we don't care about that. It's the police statement.
It's just the police bit.
That's nothing to do with his tunes.
Imagine.
But you look, turn up a week.
He said, dead no beef. Now watch it now. Then he said, we need more stops and searches. So on the way to ride up for his beef, because there's more feds on the road, he's going to get stopped and searched more than likely. So man, now if they contradict themselves, innit? What the young dons have to understand, you see most of the mainstream artists now that are pushing the one or two conscious tunes. Who's your boss? Because it ain't God, it's Lucy. So whether you're spitting conscious or not, who's your boss? Who you working for, yo? Because you know the wickedest. See the man in the circle there? I listen to them because I know they ain't working with Babylon. You feel me? So I will listen to a Ratspec or a Jeds or whoever spits, G.A.N.G and all them things there. You see what I'm saying? So don't get mixed up on a lot of mother like Styles P. I love Styles P's a G. I know who you signed out for, yo. But what you done on the roads and that I can relate for, innit? You get me? Bear that in mind, my brother.
Gang unite! Gang unite! Gang unite! Gang unite!
So we just need to stay away from
the feds, from the cops.
You know what? It's easy. Like it's easy to judge people as well. You know. Very easy to judge people. We all get caught up in it, and even me initially. we all get caught up in judging people, but like the key is what the young brother was trying to say is to try to understand what's going on and inform yourself. Because another thing that we're dealing with is this press button thing. Yeah, everyone's getting their buttons pressed lately. So if one person reacts to something and it's like the trendy thing, then everyone jumps on it. Yeah. So we need to have a little bit more control of ourselves. Yeah, and what is it we keep saying recently? Control our narrative. We need to be in control of our narratives. Yeah, and therefore then the stop and search thing wouldn't be so important. I'm not gonna lie, to me, David's still an industry dude. He's cool, good rapper, whatever, but he's still their artist now, isn't it? I don't know if he's signed or he's independent still, but he's still on that way where people know who Dave is. Everyone here knows who Dave is. Man don't know Jermaine, and Jermaine's got good bars as well, innit? Yeah. So, not really. But yeah, anyone else wanted to touch on this subject?
Yeah, I wanted to touch.
Go on, family.
Being a musician and that. Is my name's Balance, aka Stevie. But being a musician, I play for a few artists, and like in the music world with the labels and everything like that, you have to understand that they're gonna push whatever's popular, innit? So whatever you put your money into, that's what they're gonna push. As much as we think we're slaves to the music, the people that put the money in are the people that have the most power. You know what I'm saying? So the artist can't move without a following behind it. You get me?
But who sets the trend of what the people like?
But that's what I'm saying. The people that buy into the music are the ones that give it the water to move.
Who controls what the people that buy in the music desire?
All right, they can push out. They can push out the narrative, innit? Yeah. They can make it bigger, but that's because they've got the money to do so. The money that we put in, you understand? It's about putting the money into what the balance. Exact, like what Rasberg was saying.
Or there's another option that's cheaper, you know?
Yes.
You know, there's another option that's cheaper.
Country.
Turn off the radio.
Yeah, I heard that.
Turn it off.
I hear that.
Turn it off.
But then,
I don't want to make that option though. I don't want that one though, innit?
But
turn it off, innit?
We can't. Cool. You're talking about.
I'm saying, cool. But I'm saying, you got an option, innit? If you don't want to hear it, you can always turn it off. And let's not pretend like that's not a viable thing.
Of course.
But once you turn it off, and we go to countries that ain't got that music, or ain't really rare, and you look on the ground's surface, they're still going through shit. So take away the hip hop.
You have to remember though that's music that they relate to, innit?
Yeah.
So even though it's not doing nothing for me consciously, it's doing something for me in regards to where I see a man that comes from the same place I come from. You understand?
Yeah.
So someone like yourself who is rapping on a conscious thing but can also relate to where a man comes from, you put out something that is balanced. Now I've got a wider perspective and a wider air to music. You get me? Which is and then bandsman like myself will back that any day. You get me? Because we're gonna play what feels good. You understand? Yeah. So I'm talking about it has to be relatable. Obviously, you get me?
You can't talk crud and no acoustic.
Right.
You ain't gonna just come vibration.
Okay, yeah.
It's not gonna work.
We're gonna start talking about
because
live
when man hear conscious,
live.
when man hears conscious, man thinks of Erykah Badu and Jill Scott and all them, man. You get me? But like what Rasberg was saying about changing the way that you're pushed, where the violence or whatever. I don't call it violence, but like the attention to the real
target
fight.
of the
real fight. You get me? Like when you were talking about the Panther movie and that. Like the real fight is what is the messaging behind it behind the movie? You feel what I'm saying? But it has to be something that man can move to and something that man can relate to at the same time. Anyway, yeah, gang.
Yo, play the beats. We're talking about music. G-Cypher. G-Cypher.
Don't tell me this is your DJ, bro. No way.
G-Cypher.
No. Hey.
Content over everything. Content over everything. From your melody.
Everything gang. All the clothes them gang. All my bros them gang. Even my O's them gang. Everything Oh, no, fine, I forget the fine. Go, read up this one. Read up this one. Hold that.
You lot are proper childish, you know, trust me. Proper childish. Hey.
I said my O's them gang.
Yeah?
I said my O's them gang, yeah? Are you seeing it? O's, yeah? Oh, no, fine, I forget the fine.